Hey everyone, welcome. We are just going live and we're live all over the place and around the world. And I'm in a special secret location hanging out with my special buddy here who happens to be, yes, my daughter.
Buddy?
And yes, buddy.
Okay.
Well, for today on the air. How's that?
Sounds
Yes.
good.
This is my daughter, Katerina Finck. She is here hanging out with me. We happen to be hanging out in Alabama. So I came down to visit and still wanted to go live with all of you. So we're in her studio hanging out and spending some special time and wanted to introduce you to my daughter and talk about some of her specialty, which is social media. And so let's talk about that and engage. Would love to. The chat is available. So go ahead and chat away. Send us some engagement. Send us some love. And absolutely go ahead and share this and invite people from all over the place to join us. So how are you, Katerina?
I'm doing great.
Isn't it special? We're all here with you in Alabama.
I know. I'm so excited. I got to show them all the Alabamian things.
So that took us about 3 minutes, and then what? I don't. So we were about 20 minutes from anything. Is that about right?
From where you're staying, yeah. They're staying in one of Chris's Airbnbs. That's my boyfriend.
Yes, indeed. So we specialize, and the whole family is in real estate and social media and marketing and all these great things. And so definitely. He's got several Airbnbs and all that's going on in real estate. So we can kind of dive into a few different areas. Only for today, I want to talk about social media and a couple things that have come up as we've talked about social media and talked about engagement is this concept of, get on social media and direct them right to your event or direct them right to your product or direct them right to the product of choice to sell them. And the reality is that social media is more about engagement than it is about sales and direct selling. And it's one of the things I had to learn and maybe still am learning in this process is that this is much more of building a community and talking to people real than it is about using it as a platform to sell people. Yeah. And you would tell us a little bit about that, as my daughter has been whipping me with this concept for years now.
So people in my generation have known this because that's why we turned to social media. But before COVID, it kind of was the spot where you just kind of was there to sell because you can create a community in person. But because of COVID, that led to everyone having to build a community through social media. So now we're out of COVID and people are continuing to do that. And it's a great space to meet people that you wouldn't usually meet and create a community that you didn't think was possible. So what we mean by that is through social media, you can create a community that kind of has the same beliefs and values that you do. And with that being said, those are the people that will then buy whatever you're selling, because the goal is for you to kind of portray what your credentials are and explain like what you do and what you know. And with that, people are like, oh, this is really great. What do you do? And then say you're a coach in business like you, and you talk about business stuff, then they're going to know that you're worth buying from because they know everything that you've talked about and value the things that you've mentioned through your platform. So this is huge on TikTok, because if you just talk about business tips all throughout TikTok, people are going to know that's what you know and that's what you're really good at, and they're going to want to hire you right on the spot. You're kind of convincing them that it's their idea to hire you before you even have to pitch yourself.
Yeah, and some of the concepts that come up is, how do I get people to engage? How do I move people? And the reality is that this is much more about speaking to the people that are already interested versus convincing people that this is something they should be interested in.
Yeah.
And so it's much more of a filtering process than it is a persuasion process. in social media. Can you talk about?
Yeah. So say that you have a lot of followers right now, but they kind of are your family and friends, but a lot of people that know you. And then you start posting things that are true to what you're selling, but true to what you know as well. And you see that your followers are declining. It's because the people that aren't really your core community are telling you they're not interested. And that's okay. That means that you're creating a community that is interested and you're really narrowing down who those people are.
All too often, people, and even in the sales process, and I've been training sales for the last 40 years. And in the sales process, so often people are uh, looking to qualify their prospect. And so they'll ask specific questions about, when are they interested in buying and how much money do they have to make the purchase? And are they all set with their finances to move forward today? And the reality is that desire in the product or interest in creating something different in their life, for instance, with coaching, or desire to have a vehicle, not necessarily the vehicle, designed to have something different, but not necessarily knowing which vehicle or what time to buy, is much more important than whether they have all the money and all the finances and know
Yeah.
exactly all the details. And it's something that I think a lot of salespeople miss, is that they're looking to qualify their prospect rather than and qualify them in concrete details, rather than talking on the emotional level of what is their strong desire to create or to change, to buy. What is their desire to move forward? And that's the thing that I found over the years makes all the difference in the world, because with tremendous desire, everything else becomes possible.
Yeah.
And that happens in social media exponentially.
So people are desiring multiple things, and that is usually what is set on their social media. So the algorithm gives them what they're looking for. And if you post things about business and the person that you are looking to reach wants to get into business, wants to build their business, whatever it is, that will show up on their feed. They will find you because the algorithm is pushing you to them. People aren't going to see things that they don't necessarily want to see or are interested in, because social media is created for that purpose, so that people can find things that they aren't usually finding in like the real world.
Uh, Indeed. Yeah, the algorithms work for what we're talking about, and everything else that you might be doing is working against the algorithms. If you're looking to force feed them, if you're looking to drive them to a particular spot, the algorithms are actually working against you. And is that
Yeah. So the algorithm is really not so much the issue. It's more you're not doing the authentic thing of helping the person that you are trying to reach. You're trying to sell them on a product, but you're not trying to reach whoever you're trying to reach. You're talking about a thing, not to the person that you're trying to talk to. So the one thing I would say is, if you are trying to increase your followers, figure out who you're talking to, because what you talk about really isn't that important. Because if we are talking to a millennial that is building their business and is in a relationship and lives in the city, that tells us so much about a person. And if you talk about your dog, but you say all those things and then say about your dog, it's going to reach them. You can talk about anything, but as long as you know who you're talking to,
yes?
it'll reach them. So just be clear about that, and then it'll create the community that you want, because everyone will be the same if you know exactly
Interesting.
who you're talking to.
Yeah, and so which gets to, in social media, consistency of message.
So that's why the algorithm really isn't that big of a deal, because if you know that, it's going to find the person whether or not you like it. The algorithm helps you in a way because it pushes it to that person, but the time that you post, how often you post, really isn't a big deal. The consistency that everyone talks about is more about your vibe and the type of content you deliver. So if you are showing up as the same person you did a week ago on a TikTok, everyone's going to want to follow you because that's the consistency they're seeing. Not so much, oh, you didn't post at 9 o'clock today when you posted at 11 yesterday.
Yeah, so the consistency of how you're showing up, which is one of the biggest challenges that I see people in multiple avenues, and it shows up in social media, is that they'll change product, they'll change direction, they'll change who they're servicing, or every day they're talking about a new product or moving to a new environment of who they want to take care of,
Right.
a new target audience.
That's yeah.
And which then confuses the algorithm to the point where they get no engagement.
Right. So that's why who you're talking to is so important, because if you keep that consistent, then everything else will be a breeze. And your views will increase.
A breeze is a relative term.
A breeze, as long as
for the younger generation, I'm just saying to all my peeps out there, a breeze to them. Who here has angst over social media every single day? I'm like, couldn't you just find me? Like, I'm here just hanging out. Just come find me. I don't need to do all this work every day.
No, but if you think about it, that you know exactly who you're talking to, you get excited because you know that that's who's going to be there when you post something. You're showing up for them.
Yes.
So that's
but you don't know if they're going to show up.
They will, because you're talking to them. It'll find them. Just believe. You got to manifest it, Dad.
Believe it. My daughter's telling me about manifestation. I weaned you on manifestation.
Well,
so everyone
saying.
out there, and we've got a couple questions in the chat. Absolutely engage us on the chat. We are in Huntsville, Alabama, or close thereof in that vicinity. And for all those that are asking exactly where, that's where she decided from, the Northeast to move to Alabama.
It wasn't my decision.
It wasn't your decision. Whose decision was it if it wasn't yours?
It was Chris's.
No, it was your decision.
It was my decision, but I didn't get to pick the place. I just went wherever Chris was.
Yeah, you moved to him.
Yeah.
But it was your decision to move.
Yeah, but he was in Alabama.
So is that a good move?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that good?
Yeah.
So
it's basically Connecticut, but everyone has an accent. So
is that right?
Yeah.
Do the people around here believe the same thing?
No.
No.
They don't know they have accents.
No, and they also don't know that you think it's like Connecticut.
Yeah.
No.
We won't get into that, but
good. So with all that, we are doing a whole lot of things. One is that I interviewed both Chris and Katerina, and you want to find more out about their life and what's going on with them and some of what's happening in their world. They also have a podcast. Go to our podcast and it'll help you find them. Go to the Mavericks Do It Different podcast. So Mavericks Do It Different podcast, and you'll see that. And we also are able to follow you in a few different avenues. You want to share some of that?
So NYC Meets Bama on podcasts, and also on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And also I have a Instagram specifically on social media, and that is social_cat, K-A-T.
So Katerina helps a tremendous amount of people with their social media platforms, getting them set up, getting them understanding how to move and create that direction with all that they're doing. And so absolutely engage with her in that way. And just wanted to come on here and hang out with my daughter a little bit and share some of what's going on. We've got so much happening with our podcast, with books coming out, with our movie that came out earlier this year. And now we've got our next event coming up, and man, they come up really fast. So pay attention to all of that. Oh, and one thing I will share with you, which is, I'll share with you real quick, is we've got a program that's out now called, let's see, there we go, called Trailblazers. And Trailblazers is a way to engage with us on a great coaching call twice a month, where we're on there and we're sharing experts, sharing information, and it's interactive conversation, as well as going through the core of how to get started as an entrepreneur, how to move forward, how to get clear with your time management, and how to get clear with your life overall. So go ahead. The QR code is right there. Go ahead and grab hold of that. Take a look. If that's of interest to you, absolutely engage with us. It is one of the best ways to be ongoing connection with us. Other than that, anything else that you'd like to share with our audience?
No.
How about this? What is the number one best thing they want to take action today to engage with everyone on social media? What's one thing that you would say for them to do?
So like we were talking about before, know exactly who you are talking to. Know who your audience is in and out, and that will help you become more clear of what you're going to post about, and also create 3 content pillars. So those are kind of like topics. Create those so it kind of gives you an outline of what you're going to be talking about on social media. And this way, you're not kind of like, oh, what am I posting today? Because you just go through those 3 pillars and then just come up with the idea.
So pillars are categories to talk about.
Yes.
Awesome.
Topics, categories, just ways so that when your audience shows up to your page, there's kind of a theme and an understanding of what you talk about.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Very well. What a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
It's been such a pleasure hanging out with you and spending time with all of you as well here, and just giving you a glimpse of what happens on the backside, because we get to hang out here on a regular basis, whether it's Alabama, whether it's in Connecticut, New York, or all around the country. We were just in Vegas just a couple weeks ago, so that wasn't that long. And where are we hanging out again soon?
Thanksgiving is the next time I'm going to see you.
After this week?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
No. I guess that's a ways away.
It's like a month.
Yeah, not so bad. A month. Guys, no, it's about 6 weeks. Yeah? Yeah, yeah, about 6 weeks.
That's so sad.
Yeah. So we're going to be down here for a little bit, and then we're going to be traveling around. However, in the meantime, I'm also going to be seeing my other daughter in North Carolina. Then next week, I'm going to be seeing my 2 of my sons that are in upstate New York. So we get to bounce around. And one of the dreams that I engage with my life is that I get to, I have 6 children, and all my wife and I do is hang out and bounce around the country as we go visit all of our children and experience our world and our life. Whoever thinks that's a great vision and a great idea for your world, come hang out, because it's what we created over the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years to have the life that we have now. So come join us, come hang out, share this information, and I look forward to seeing you all real soon. Till next time, everyone. Talk to you.
Bye.